Hello LEGO and Marvel fans! Today we've got this awesome Iron Man set, a copy of the official LEGO 76,206 with 381 pieces. As often happens, it's not an original LEGO, so let's take a look and decide whether it's even worth spending money on. And of course, at the end, I'll give this set my final rating on a scale from 1 to 5 stars. The box, I have to say, looks great, stylish and black. But of course, we're not here for the box, we care about what's inside. The seller also mentioned there's a bonus minifigure inside. Apparently, this is it. Weird, some kind of Spider-Man. And what's this little thing? Looks like a tiny light, probably meant to go into Iron Man's chest to make it glow. The bags aren't numbered, which is a pity. Interestingly, the instructions say there are 389 pieces, whereas the official LEGO version has just 381. And here are the stickers. Nothing special, we can skip those. Let's open it all up and sort the pieces. Unfortunately, since they're not numbered, I'll have to spend some time sorting them manually. Some people actually enjoy that part. There's also a display plate in the set. Looks like it's meant for showing the figure off on a shelf rather than playing with it. And here's another little light. One thing still surprises me though. The light here is red, even though Tony Stark's arc reactor should glow blue. Or at least white. Interestingly, the official LEGO set also uses a red light. Just check the video on LEGO's official site. Alright, let's start the build. So, my very first impression of the plastic, which I noticed right away while sorting the pieces, is that it's definitely not premium quality. Not a disaster, of course, but sometimes Chinese manufacturers manage to make such unbelievably good plastic that you honestly can't believe it's not official LEGO. Now on the left side of your screen, you can see clips of me building figures made from amazing plastic. The quality of that plastic was even better than the official LEGO. Seriously, phenomenal. Here though, the plastic feels completely ordinary. Average at best, maybe even a little below average. The camera probably shows it too. You can sometimes spot tiny traces where the surface wasn't perfectly polished. Overall, I'd still rate this plastic as acceptable. It's totally fine for play, but if you want to display the figure on a shelf, you might wish it looked a bit more refined. That said, the golden plates do look really nice. So far we've built one leg. Let's attach it to the hip joint. And I'm not loving this construction. The movement of the leg is limited by this little piece here. You can't spread the legs out. The range of motion is just blocked. That's a very strange design choice. While building, I thought, maybe the Chinese designers just changed something and made it weird. But no. The original LEGO set has exactly the same joint structure. The legs are also not very mobile there. Honestly, that's disappointing. Lately, LEGO seems to be making more and more of these little design mistakes. This whole collection of large buildable figures. I already have Wolverine, both the original and the copy, and Batman. And to be honest, I don't really like any of them in terms of playability. They're just not made for play. They're meant purely for display. The joints aren't very sturdy and there are lots of little pieces that tend to fall off easily. By the way, while I was building, I noticed that the instructions recommend placing the stickers right on top of the golden pieces. The thing is, the stickers themselves aren't shiny, and in my opinion, that would look pretty odd. So I decided not to put them there and just leave the golden parts as they are. These kinds of figures look epic and cool, but only in a few specific poses and from certain angles. From many other viewpoints, they just look awkward. For example, take Wolverine. I really don't like how his head looks from the side. You can see exactly what I mean in the footage on the left. Also, none of these figures could move or straighten their arms at the elbows. They were always half bent. As for the legs, I checked carefully. On all the other figures, the legs could move perfectly well. But here, as you can see, the joint keeps coming loose again and you can't spread the leg outward very far. The motion is completely limited. Such a strange design choice. They could have made the hip joint exactly like the one on Wolverine. It would have worked so much better. I really don't like this particular construction choice. Let's keep going. The stickers fit perfectly on the red parts, but as I mentioned, I chose not to put them on the gold pieces, and I think it actually looks quite nice that way. That said, the red on the stickers doesn't exactly match the red of the plastic, and as you just saw, the piece that holds the leg at the hip joint popped off again, which is definitely going to be a problem if you want to actually play with the figure. Let's keep building and move on to the foot. The foot construction is very similar to what we've seen in the other figures. But there's a neat design element here that imitates the boosters on Iron Man's legs, the ones that let him fly. Overall, I really like the design of the feet. I liked it before on other figures too. It's proven to be solid and reliable. During play, it's stable and strong. So I'm guessing there won't be any issues here either. Overall, you can really see that the designers put a lot of effort into their work. They clearly tried to make it creative and thoughtful. These leg guards, for example, look really cool. Alright, let's move on. We're now building the chest, the torso section. It's assembled with a big opening in the center, which is obviously where the arc reactor will go, the part that lights up. But when it comes to the shoulder joints, for some reason, they're placed really low here. See, the main shoulder joints are down here, and above them there are some smaller hinges. Not quite sure what those are for yet. I'm guessing that's where the deltoid armor will attach. But proportionally, that might change how the whole thing looks and make it seem a bit odd. Now we're putting together the abdominal section. I saw in the preview photos that some plates go there and it looks epic. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. Okay, here we go. Inserting the chest plates, and yes, that looks pretty cool. I like it. Let's add the stickers now. As you can see, the stickers are a slightly different shade than the plastic itself. In the original Lego version, the color difference isn't so noticeable, so I'll give the copy a small minus for that. Overall, it feels like this set was intended to be playable, not just a display piece, but all the construction issues I mentioned, the joints and the pieces that fall off too easily, suggest that it really belongs on a shelf. Still, I'm not sure I'd want to proudly display a figure with imperfect plastic and slightly mismatched stickers. Alright, let's attach the torso to the body. It connects with just one small ball joint. I never really like it when the torso is attached by a single tiny connector. It's fine if the figure is just standing still on display, but if you actually want to play with it, that's definitely a weakness. Over time, the torso will start falling off. Next up, we're building the head, the helmet. There's nothing particularly special here, but if you remember, in the original Lego Wolverine set, the head had a textured mold. The nose was raised, and it looked really cool. In the non-original Lego version though, it was just a flat print with no shape at all. Here, even though the mask doesn't have any relief either, it still looks great. The head, in my opinion, looks really epic. Big thumbs up for that. Now let's move on to the arms. We start right away with the elbow joint, and you can instantly tell that the elbow won't fully straighten. The arm will always stay slightly bent. I don't really understand why they designed it that way. See? For some reason, every figure in this series has arms like that. There's also a Spider-Man figure from the same line. By the way, we'll be building him soon too, both the original and the copy. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. The same construction is used for Captain America as well, and for Ant-Man. Overall, the arm looks quite good. I like the fingers, the palm blaster is well designed, and the plastic feels nice to the touch. Once you attach the arm, it's clear that the deltoid piece is supposed to go there. But proportionally, just look at how odd it looks. The arm joint sits way too low. On a real person, it would be positioned higher. I get that they probably did this so the deltoid armor wouldn't look oversized, but I'm afraid that'll affect mobility. We won't be able to raise the arm properly or pose it in a cool, dynamic way. Again, that'll likely be another drawback when it comes to playability. We'll finish assembling the figure soon, and then we'll be able to make a more accurate judgment and give our final rating for this set, as usual. For now, I'm honestly not sure what this set is really meant for. As a playable toy, it's not very good, and as a display piece, well, that's a bit questionable too. Let's attach those deltoids to the hinges. With the delts on, the figure actually looks quite nice. But see how the arm hits the deltoid when we try to lift it? That's definitely a downside. We can't raise the arm fully, neither up nor forward. So we're limited not only in play, but also in the poses we can display our Iron Man in. Oh well, still, he looks pretty good. Let's finish the build and insert his arc reactor into the chest. Here's what the reactor looks like. It actually glows red instead of blue, even though it shines through this blue plastic piece. I'm not a fan of that choice, it's a bit weird. You see, there's another blue plastic layer on top, but of course that doesn't magically turn red light into blue. It only dims the brightness, and I don't like that. What if we just remove that extra piece? Structurally, nothing will change, but the light should shine brighter. We won't be muting that red glow so much. I think I'll take it apart and remove it. And look at that. The LED shines so much brighter now. That's awesome. I think my little life hack definitely deserves a like. So yeah, all you need to do is take that one part out, everything still holds together perfectly. The reactor won't fall out. Go ahead, follow my lead. Now let's continue and insert our arc reactor into Iron Man's chest. It fits perfectly, nice and snug. I like it, although the plate inside the chest is black instead of red, kind of odd. There's supposed to be another little piece that serves as a support for that nameplate base. I must have mixed them up. Yep. This black piece belongs under the base, and the red one should go here. My bad, let's fix that real quick. Perfect. Now everything looks just right. The chest plate is red, the black piece goes under the nameplate, and everything fits nicely. According to the instructions, there's supposed to be a surprise figure included. And judging by the mask, our surprise figure is clearly Spider-Man. But he's attached to some very weird-looking body, kind of like a strange Hulk. We had a similar construction with Hulk and Thanos. Here, you can see the video pop up now. I really don't like how this looks. I mean, really don't. With Hulk, as you can see here, the head was assembled and inserted neatly into the body. And with Thanos, the head came already built and looked pretty good. But here, it's just this odd little peg pretending to be a head, and the Spider-Man mask just sits on top of it. I'm not a fan, though of course you can still play with it. So here's our finished Iron Man. Let's start our review with the downsides. You probably already know that in all these kinds of builds, I really dislike how the arm can't straighten. We had the exact same issue with Wolverine, both in the original Lego and in the copy version. The official Lego actually turned out to be a disappointment. The arm and head were wobbly, and I didn't like the design at all. Same story with Batman. Honestly, this whole series has been a structural letdown. It's just much more fun to play with figures that are more Bionicle-like Deadpool here on the right. I also didn't like the shoulder design. If you look closely, the arms come out from somewhere in the middle of the chest instead of higher up. Now I'm removing the deltoid, and you can see it looks really silly. Wolverine also had a separate shoulder piece on top, but proportionally it didn't look nearly as awkward as it does on Iron Man. I also didn't like the hip joint design on this figure. You can't move the leg to the side at all. Wolverine, on the other hand, had a large ball joint that allowed the leg to move outward easily. Here everything feels much more limited, both for play and for posing the figure in epic stances. Of course, you can still pose it in a few cool ways, and it'll look great, but the range of motion is definitely not impressive. Now onto what I did like. I really like the color. That shiny gold finish looks awesome. I like the design of the abs section, and I like the additional moving details on the back. Those flaps with stickers underneath them are a nice touch. The reactor in the chest turned out quite bright, which is great, but it really should be blue, not red. Though, to be fair, the original Lego also had a red light, which I think is a big design mistake. The designers really should have thought that through. It feels a bit rushed, honestly. Also, the set included a bonus, a figure built in the same style as Hulk and Thanos. And to be honest, Spider-Man looks really weird in this design, and I don't like it. He's supposed to be sleek, lean, and agile, not bulky like this, and I really don't like his head. What even is that? The mask just goes over this awkward little headpiece. It's terrible. With Hulk, look, the head looks fine, it pops out and looks natural. Those big Hulkbuster figures are similar in structure, just a bit larger. By the way, check out that video on my channel. I actually really like that build. Overall, I'd give this Iron Man set 4 stars, or maybe even 3.5. The figure isn't very playable, it's more of a display piece for the shelf. But even as a display piece, it's not particularly impressive. You can't really pose it in many epic ways. And for play, it's absolutely not suitable in my opinion, since it has issues with mobility, and the parts can easily fall off or come loose. You just can't get that cool, heroic pose out of it. It's definitely not a Bionicle. Bionicles are still the gold standard when it comes to playability. Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow, and it means a lot to me. And now on the left, you'll see a playlist with my other Iron Man builds, both large figures and mini figures. And on the right, YouTube has picked a video just for you based on your interests. See you soon in the next video. Bye.